It's not the hustle work. It's when you feel at your lowest is actually the place where you gotta start. What doesn't work is anything that fully invades my life. When you lose connection with friends, family, people that are important to you, you also tend to lose connection with your own self. It needs daily nourishing. It needs daily reminders. You just get back to the mat and not beat yourself up for not having done it for 2 days, for 3 days. This whole journey is so lonely sometimes, but there are people out there who actually get me. After 2 years of being silent on this front, I'm bringing it all together, turning it into something called Life First Lab. Hey, welcome back to this brand new episode of Lead, Live, and Lemonade. Today is going to be more like a friendly chat, but it's very, very important. So I hope you find this episode and I hope you find it valuable. A few days ago, I promised you I would bring you an episode where I go into more detail on my daily practices of running a life first business. But before we jump into those practices, what is a life first business? Why is it so important to me? So when you get into this whole world of running your own business, somehow, or at least in my case, somehow those movements find you first, where you have to go all in on this, sacrifice everything. There's the period of time where you like disappear for a year and just build. And I have tried it all. Maybe not the 5 a.m. club. I don't think I was ever a fan. So maybe I haven't tried the 5 a.m. club. But I don't regret it at all. So I've been on this journey for the last 13 years. Before that, I spent 7 years in corporate. And when I initiated my journey in entrepreneurship, in running my own business, I knew nothing about it. And I thought it would be enough just to pour your heart and soul into it, and it would work. And yes, there is a side of it that if you do that, you will get to the right people and they will listen to you at some point. But there are so many aspects of that. And then I went down the rabbit hole of the hustle and just build, not stop. And yeah, over 13 years, you try all kinds of things and you see what works and what doesn't. And to me, what doesn't work is anything that fully invades my life. Whether it's a method, whether it's a client, whether it's something I want to give and build, if it takes over my life, it won't work for me, because I want a family, I want people around me. But if you don't nurture those relationships, then they might just end, whether it's friends, whether it's family. And then there is a very, very important part, and that is my connection with myself. When you are in just the build, you might even lose connection to yourself. When you lose connection with friends, family, people that are important to you, you also tend to lose connection with your own self. And these are some of the biggest aha moments for me in running a business, in being an entrepreneur. And there's one more, which is probably the biggest out of all. And I don't like this realization, because it also acknowledges that there is indeed work, but a different kind than what we think of it at the start. It's not the hustle work, it's the consistency work. And yesterday I was on my mat doing my morning exercise, and I didn't show up for the mat for like 2 weeks, because I don't know, my body just didn't feel it. We also had something going on. So yeah, I just didn't feel like. So after 2 weeks, it was really like, everything hurts. Oh, I already lost all the muscles. It just felt like, oh my God. And then tomorrow I will have to come back to it again. Because my Whoop shows this little thing I'm wearing. It shows that if I don't move at least like 5 times a week, then I age faster. So if I don't want to age fast, I need to move like 5 times a week, even if it's just walking. But it's like more than 10,000 steps a day. And so, yeah, if I don't move, then I age faster. And yesterday, when I restarted after 2 weeks, I was wishing, couldn't I just do this today and then not show up for 5 days or for a whole week and then just do a big chunk again? But it's not like that. Your body needs daily movement, or at least every 2 days. You can't just do it once a month, once a week. And I found that it's very much the same with life first entrepreneurship. You can't just have a big aha moment and then everything is fixed because you understood one thing. Yes, there are huge aha moments in entrepreneurship, like there are in life. But I expected that I have those realizations. I finally understand how it works. And then just by itself, my body and my soul will generate things in a way that are in line with life first entrepreneurship. And it will all work out with my team, with my weekly routine, with my providers, with my clients. But unfortunately, it's exactly like your body. It needs daily nourishing. It needs daily reminders. And just like with your body, you have to be compassionate with yourself. At least I prefer to be compassionate with myself and not do it in a beating myself up way. If there are a few days that I don't keep up with it, you just get back to the mat. You just have to get back to those practices that keep it alive, and not beat yourself up for not having done it for 2 days, for 3 days, for your entire life. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, why haven't I started with this sooner? I would already have all my dreams come true and all that, but that doesn't help. The only thing that helps is actually getting back to it and doing it whenever you can, whenever you have the energy and whenever you are in that peace of mind. But the trick is that doing these practices makes it so much easier to get back to that space in your mind where it gets easier to do. So if you think that there will be a day when everything is calm enough for you to get started with these practices, then unfortunately, I have bad news for you. I had to start in a moment where I was so desperate. Nothing was working out. I was pouring myself into it. I was pouring all my hours into it. I was giving my life to it, and it was still not adding up. I could feel that it wasn't doing it. And that's when I had to start with these practices. So it's when the hardest is when you have to start. It's when you feel at your lowest is actually the place where you gotta start. But if you're in a good moment and you're here, that's even better. But if you are in a difficult moment and you feel like, oh, I don't have time for this, I don't have the energy for this, then that's one more reason to listen to this whole thing today, because that's why it found you, because it's time that you look at things differently. So we are here for me to share my life first practices with you. And the very first one is that every morning when I wake up, I have a little notebook there at my bed. It's always there with me. So it's not a big one. I like those bigger, heavier notebooks, but I try to carry this everywhere with myself. And when it's a big, heavy, like I have this 365 days, write something every day, it's too big. So this is a smaller one, very light. and I try to carry it myself everywhere, because every morning when I wake up, I write down anything that's on my mind, whether it's something I have to take care of, or whether it's gratitude for something that just happened. I tend to wake up with things inside my head. I don't do the full reset like Javi does. He goes to sleep, and then even if he goes to sleep with 10,000 problems, he wakes up and it's a clean slate. Unfortunately, I don't have it. I'm doing better now than I did before, but I still have my mind full of things like checklists, like these are the things I have to do, or yeah, whatever. You will understand. You will understand. So basically, in this little notebook, you will find different things. This morning we opened up Life First Lab. It's our new membership, and I wrote, "The lab is open. This is the best I have ever given to anyone following me. The best way I have ever organized everything I know. Let's go." And I also said, "Money flows to me abundantly because I'm ready." This is all I said this morning. Yesterday, I said, "For half an hour, I thought it was already Monday, and then I realized it's Sunday. Woohoo, an extra day." That was real good Sunday energy. Saturday, I wrote, "I have everything it takes and more. I have no reason to be afraid. I can genuinely help a shit ton of people. They are out there waiting." So this is what's in my mind first thing in the morning. And there are also practical things like reach out to this ad strategist, or get back to Mia, or talk to Carlos, because sometimes those are just practical things. Or on Friday, we're going to travel to London. So already on Thursday, I will be like, do the check-in, make sure your passport is there. And I will just write checklists like plants, like doors, windows, air conditioning, whatever needs to be taken care of before we leave the house. So why do I do this? I do this because if I start the day with this noise in my head, the whole day is in a pressure, or at least the whole morning already starts in a pressure state, because my head is also keeping room for things I shouldn't forget. But if I write them down, they are there, and then my head becomes fresh, and then my brain, my mind is ready to take in the day and ready to do it the way I want it to run. Because sometimes I will have client stuff here, and if I don't start my day focused on what I want to get from this day, my clients can so easily hijack my whole day. Or a neighbor can hijack a day, or your spouse can hijack a day with something they have on their mind. Although in our case, it's normally the other way around. I'm very good at hijacking Javi's day with something I just thought of and needs to be sorted right away. So this is key for being able to start with a clear mind and having control over your day. Control over your day is crucial, because if we don't take care of this, if we are not careful, then the world around us totally takes over. The news take over, whatever you see on your feed, on social media takes over. So this has to happen before you actually touch your phone. Because when you already touched your phone, then all this comes from there. But this has to come from inside your head. Another thing I do to make sure that I have control over my day and things are going towards the direction I'm here to go towards, whether it's my personal life or my business, is I read out loud who I am. It's silly, or it might sound silly. It's not silly at all. It might sound silly because it's like, oh, you just know who you are. Well, There are reminders in my Who I Am page. It's a one pager. It's in the same little notebook, one page. These reminders, I tend to forget these things 10 times a day. You might forget them every hour. Like something just happens and you already forgot what you stand for and who you are here to work with, who you are here to live with, who you are here to spend your time with. This whole idea is also written from the perspective of where I'm headed, where I'm going. So while some of it is already existing in my life, there are other items that I'm talking into existence. Possibly there is a place where you don't need these reminders anymore, but I still do, and you might as well. So this is a bit private, but I'm going to read out to you what I have on my one pager, and I invite you to create yours. You need to create this in a moment when you feel like you are well connected with yourself, your body and your mind. But when you hear mine, there will be things that come up for you that you will want to include in yours. So this is how it goes. I am light. I glide. I'm calm but outspoken. I don't always have to have the last word. I don't always have to be right. I don't owe anyone any explanation. I'm proudly imperfect. I love my body in all its seasons. I rest like a boss. My energy is contagious. I'm the best mom I can be every day. I receive gracefully. I know I deserve it and more. I know myself, love myself, and trust myself with money. I love to pay people. I'm grateful for their service. I spend gracefully and happily. People love to pay me. My baseline is $35K per month. All this is my minimum. I don't put up with anything less. This or better. This is it. This is me. This is what I stand for. And this is also an evolution. If there's anything new that I want to add, then I just add it. Or if there's anything that's already so ingrained in me that I don't need the reminder, I might take it out. The one I added the most recently was I don't owe anyone any explanation, because I had a few days where I was like, what would people think? Is this even important? There are so many things happening in the world. Can I even talk about this? And yes, I can, because this is very important. This has changed my life. And if it has changed mine, it might change that of many others. So yeah, I do this one pager and I invite you to write yours and to actually read it out loud. I can't always read it out loud because maybe there is someone next to me, but I don't really mind that anymore. So I try to read it out loud and try not to just skim through, but actually live and breathe every single one of them. And if I feel that I'm not feeling it, then I have to stop and maybe read it out 4 times. And yesterday, something so cool happened. I have a client. Her name is Fanny Holtzleiter, and she does a thing where she creates a song for her clients. She creates a song for her clients that channels in their dream, their desires, who they are. And she offered me that she could create a song for me. So she asked me a couple of questions that had a lot to do with actually what I also have in this little one pager. And she created a song for me. And it's my song. It's exactly about these things. And it's incredible. So now I'm even gonna listen to that song every single morning because it helps me embody it even more. So, and having clients like this, isn't it amazing? She created a song for me. Like I've never had a song created for me about me. Such a cool thing. Thank you, Fanny. Now let's move on to the third one. This is a big one. This is, to me, the most difficult. And it sounds so simple. It's breathe. So we are still with the things I do before I touch my mobile. And this is just breathe. Find a breathing exercise and just for 2-3 minutes, connect with your breath. Recently, I had Peter Williams on the podcast, and remember where he just said, put your hand on your heart and observe your heartbeat. And this is your rhythm. And this is a perfect way to connect with your breath and just stop for 2-3 minutes and connect with yourself. There are also other versions or other ideas that might be easier for you. I do this when I'm in a place where I can truly be silent. But sometimes, and that's not the first thing in the morning, that's more like whenever I feel like I need to calm my nervous system down, I might even be driving and something might have happened that triggered me. And then I just turn to either the box breathing, which is 4 in, hold it for 4 seconds, out, and hold for 4. And then again, 4 in, hold for 4 out, hold for 4. That's box breathing. And you're probably familiar with this or with other breathing exercises. So just do the one of your choice. There is also the 4-7-8 breathing. Just choose the one that's easiest for you. And this again helps me reconnect with my body and start my day in a way where I'm in control, where I decide. And sometimes you might feel like, oh, I don't have 2-3 minutes to just breathe, or I don't have 2 minutes to read out my who I am statement. But then honestly, I just think about how many minutes do we scroll mindlessly on social media, and you can sometimes easily spend half an hour, 40 minutes scrolling. So why not 2 minutes of breathing? It's easy to say, I know. It's hard to do. But this is why I'm doing this video. It's freaking hard to do, even though these things are even enjoyable. Like, it's harder to show up on the mat for your body. To me, it definitely is. But yeah, this is not easy either, right? Okay, I just remembered something. I wanted to share a fourth thing with you, a fourth practice, and I wanted to bring a book here. Here it is. So the fourth exercise, and this comes from, I think it comes from Vishen Lakhiani. He often shares his practices for staying in charge of your day, and there are many. Yeah, there are not only a few, but this is one thing he recommends, and I totally took it on. That before you start your day, read something that challenges how you see the world. Whether it's how you see money, whether it's how you see success, whether it's how you see life, whether it's how you see happiness. So I right now have this book next to my bed. It's called Transurfing in 78 Days, a practical course in creating your own reality. It's nice because it has these little chapters. So I read one every morning, or maybe even a few more. It doesn't matter which book it is. It should just be something that helps you take a few steps forward on the journey you are on. And if you can just read one paragraph and challenge your mind, challenge yourself, challenge your thought processes, challenge your thoughts, then it will do the job. So that's one more thing I do every morning before I get out of bed, before I touch my phone. So this is the morning list. Then there are some mornings where I feel like, oh, I don't have time for this, and I just start my day and I go about it. But many times, even on those days, there's a moment still in my morning when I'm like, okay, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to read out who I am. Now I'm ready to breathe. Now I'm ready to read a chapter. So whether it's your morning or it's later in the day, it doesn't matter. Just do it. It's still better to do it whenever in your day than not do it. But if you are able to do it right first thing in the morning, it will make the impact exponentially bigger. And now there is one more I wanted to share with you, and that's an evening gratitude list. Because my old pattern about how my day goes would be, if in the middle of the day, my day feels like it's already fucked, it's shit, the whole day is doomed, I would just be still going through that day and think, okay, this day is already fucked. Let's just live through it. There is no way to fix it already. And then tomorrow we can start again. But there is a way to fix it. Even like what I mentioned, when I'm driving and something is triggering me, I don't have to stay triggered. I don't have to go down rabbit holes of thinking why this happened to me, why I'm hating on someone even more than I ever hated them, and such kind of stuff. You can stop it. You can use the breath, you can use reading a chapter, you can use reading out loud who the fuck you are. All those will help. And this last thing I want to talk about helps you close the day on a good note, even if the day sucked. And this is an evening gratitude list. And you can still use your notebook if you want to be writing, but sometimes I just do it in my head, like already my head on the pillow, eyes closed. And when my mind would be racing about, oh, what a shit day it has been and how I hate this or that person or how we will fix this or that. Instead of that, I go through a list of what I'm grateful for. And I try not to do a generic list of, I'm grateful to have food on the table, I'm grateful to have a roof over our head. No, I need to find something in that day I'm specifically grateful for. And just like with the one pager of who I am, if I feel like I'm not living into it, I'm not breathing into it, then I have to repeat. So I don't go with these generic lists. It has to be real. And the idea is to list 10 things you are grateful for. But sometimes I don't even get to 4. I fall asleep, but I fall asleep in this state of mind. And that helps me get way closer to Javi's reset. He just says, mañana es otro día. Tomorrow is another day. And most of the time when he says, I'm even more triggered, like, what the fuck? Mañana is not otro día. Mañana we will wake up with the same shit in our head that we have now, with the same shit situation we are in now. And by using these practices, you can actually get to mañana es otro día. I don't want to acknowledge that he is right, but he definitely wakes up with a much easier mind than I do every single day because of this automated reset he has built in his head. So he does it with his auto reset. I do it with my gratitude list. It takes me more energy, but at least I'm getting there. And if you feel like this, if you feel like your mind is busy all the time, then I'm 100% sure these practices will be an amazing shift in your life. And there is one more thing I wanted to talk about, because this whole entrepreneurial journey is so lonely sometimes. Like, I sometimes feel like I'm fully by myself with these thoughts, with these ideas. Sometimes even the person I share this house with thinks I'm crazy, not to mention other people in our life. But there are people out there who actually get me, who understand what I'm talking about, who understand where this whole thing is coming from and where we are going. So I also put a lot of effort into being in the right rooms to share my journey with the right people. Because, like I said, there are days when it's so difficult to get back on the mat. And on those days, sometimes these whole series of things just don't work. And those are the moments when I have to show up even more in those communities where I belong, and just say it. Hey, it's not working. Nothing is working. I feel shit. It's not going to work out. You can be honest about it. There are spaces where you can be honest. And there is always someone, something that reminds me why I'm doing this, why I'm here, and who I am. Still, they do the same job as the one pager, but sometimes the one pager is not enough because you can't actually live it and breathe into it. And that's when community becomes even more important. And I belong to different groups. There are some casual groups of a few friends, just girls in a WhatsApp group where we share our nutrition, what we have eaten today. That's full of photos of breakfast and shakes and all kinds of that stuff. Then I have my business groups, but I know that these groups keep me on my toe. Right now, without those groups, I would be totally lost. And it's not that I have to live in them, but I know when it's time to be in there because I need that extra encouragement that someone has my back. This is my whole system, the mini habits and the places, the rooms I belong to. And this to me is like going to a psychologist. I went on a girls' trip to Gran Canaria with my best friend Julia a few weeks ago, and it's so intense. It was only 5 days, but and we talked to each other like 1 hour every week, but still this was at another level. And at the end of those 5 days, she said, "Shit, I want to do what you do. How do you do this? You don't even go to a psychologist and you are fully in control." And at that moment, she didn't feel she was. Come on, she is. She has 3 amazing kids. She's a cardiologist. And the other day, she just saved a life on an airplane. She was even on the news because there was not even a reanimation kit on Ryanair's flight she was on with her smallest baby. She's a person who is very much in control, and I adore and admire her. This was so important coming from her because I truly see her as a person who has her shit together, and she saw me as someone who is in the right place in her mind. So that was really nice. And yeah, I said, this is my whole system. There's actually so much more to this. There's, automating, delegating, hiring the right people, managing my money the right way for me, working with the team, working with AI. Those help a lot if used in the right way. But today I truly just wanted to share this part. And I want to go back to the community part for a second. Those communities are that keep me on my toe besides these habits. And this is why I'm so glad that the lab is finally out. If you don't know what it is, it's called Life First Lab, and it's a membership that's coming. It's going to open at the very end of August, and it's not built yet because it's one thing what I have in my head. You could hear a little bit on that now, but the other thing is what you have in your head. What is it that you need right now? So this is why I decided that we will build this membership together. So I'm going to take my founding members in, and they will have a huge say in where this whole thing is going. And the one thing I want is that you have that space that has your back, that is a safe space for you to share when things go down, but also to celebrate your successes, because sometimes on this entrepreneurial journey, people even don't understand our successes. Like, who could I tell at a family dinner that I'm celebrating my biggest ever tax bill? Because that means that it was my biggest ever quarter. It's going to be a space which I have been long craving. I used to have a membership, and for being 2 years silent on this front, I'm finally back. So I'm now on the lookout of whoever is ready to build this with me. And if you're one of them, you will help me shape this whole lab. I have a priority list, which you can find under esthergolder.com/lab, LAB. And it would be a huge pleasure to have you on that list. Also, because there is so much more I want to talk about. There are other practices that ensure that there is a whole system that helps me keep this alive, right? I can do all kinds of practices if then I go crazy to please some clients. I can do all these practices if then I go crazy because I have a problem to pay a bill. That doesn't work. So it's a whole equilibrium of systems and processes connected together, whether it's automation, delegation, hiring, money management, client management. So there is so much more to it. But if you feel like today's ideas resonated with you, then it's definitely a place you want to check out. So I will see you there very soon. And for now, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for coming with me. And please do let me know if you tried even one of these practices, if it has worked for you, or even if you just like the idea and you want to put it into practice. Just comment below. Let me know which one you're going to go with. And I can't wait to see how it works out for you. Thank you so much. See you soon.